Welcome back to another episode of World of Faceting Machines. Today we'll be looking at the British technique for prepping and dressing the cutting and polishing laps. Both of the studios I visited use loose grit diamond for both the cutting and polishing of gemstones. Cutting is done on a copper lap with 400 grit natural diamond powder, and polishing is done on copper, tin, and lead alloy laps with a variety of grit sizes from 0.5 to 3/4 micron. The diamond powder is mixed with 3-in-1 oil to make a slurry, and the cutting lap must be cleaned before the mix can be applied to it. Once the lap is clean, the slurry is applied with the finger and then spread around the lap and embedded into the metal using a hard stone. Diamond powder can also be embedded into the lap using this homemade rolling device. The polishing lap is a little more particular and requires some extra attention. Every few days, the lap needs to be resurfaced to maintain the perfect texture needed to polish the stone. The first step is to clean off any old diamond and oil residue. Then the process of smoothing begins. 2 old building bricks are used to sand away the old surface and give the lap an extremely random surface texture. This sanding process can take from 10 to 20 minutes, with water being added occasionally to clean away any copper or brick residue. You can see the result is very rough and irregular. Next, the polishing slurry is applied. Again, this is a natural diamond powder mixed with 3-in-1 oil, and the grit often used is 0 to 5 microns. A very thick coating of the mix is applied to the lap and smoothed out with a hard stone. This acts to embed the diamond into the irregular surface of the copper that has been created, as well as smoothing out any sharp or high spots that were left in the lap's surface.
But when we finished with the frame, he then turned around and he said, Ken says, this is all we need.
The other technique I observed is similar, but instead of using old building bricks, sandstone blocks from the hardware store were used. The process starts by cleaning off any old residue from the lap. The lap is cleaned with methylated spirits, and then the sandstone is rubbed together to create some loose grit to help sand down the surface of the copper. The sandstone is then rubbed with a particular hand motion on the lap for about 10 minutes.
And now you put a bit of water on it, and that gives you a smoother, less fierce cut. And then you keep doing this until you get it how you want it.
The final motion gives very directional lines in the copper surface, and finally the lap is cleaned with water to get rid of any excess material. So now you're being very directional on purpose, right? You want those in a certain direction?
Well, you do want to go across.
Okay, so you're kind of making a cross hatching.
Yeah.
Okay. Once the workstation is clean, the polisher is ready to apply his diamond slurry. He applies it methodically by hand until he builds up the slurry to the thickness he likes. His final step is to embed the diamond into the copper with a piece of agate. Finally, He tries out the polishing lap, which should have an aggressive surface for quick polishing, but should leave the facets perfectly smooth with no scratches or polishing lines. This technique is similar to lap prepping methods used in other countries, with the one main difference being that stone is used to abrade the lap surface instead of a razor blade. Thanks for watching, and check back soon for another educational episode of World of Faceting Machines.